The log cabin fire is one of the more well-known. If you look in scout manuals, you look in survival manuals, you read online, there's a lot of articles about the log cabin fire. And this is a very small log cabin fire right here. The beautiful thing about the log cabin fire is it's got a few benefits and very few detriments. The biggest detriment is it takes a while to get into full flamage. It's going to smoke for a while because it's drying the wood above it. So you get a lot of smoke to begin with, which can be used to your benefit in a signal fire. This is a good platform to put a bunch of leaves and spruce boughs and other things that can burn up and make a lot of smoke. This is a good platform to put it on top of because it's already going to preheat it. The other detriment is it doesn't throw out all that flame to a huge amount. It's focused heat. So this is not what I would consider a warming, drying fire unless you made a giant version of it, in which case you're basically dealing with an oven. The real benefit of a log cabin fire is this is a true cooking fire. You've made a platform on the bottom made of solid wood, and then you pile on top of that kindling, small twigs of this size in a good sized bundle, and then you start adding thicker ones crisscrossed as you go up. Thicker, thicker, thicker up the middle, backed by a wall of thicker sticks and logs and split wood on the outside. As that burns up the center, it becomes a coal bed, which helps focus all that heat. And with it being a good cooking fire, the true benefit is, if I can find a nice stick here, I'll use this guy, it's fairly stable. It's not going to collapse like a teepee fire will. But again, it's very smoky. Now the other benefit is, it's easy to adjust, it's easy to stabilize, it's easy to manipulate that fire to get it to the perfect place. If you're seeing that there's not enough air getting through, you can just simply grab one of these sticks on the outside and adjust, moving them as you need. Hopefully not singeing your beard as I just did. But you just keep playing with it, and it burns up nice and clean, and it gets a nice heavy amount of coals in the center, which is a focused heat. If you're cooking 1 or 2 pots, this is the perfect way to cook. If you're cooking for a lot of people, this is a great way to cook. Now, if you're cooking for a huge group, this isn't going to feed a lot of people at once. This is more of a 1 or 2 pot meal kind of fire. If we want to feed a lot of people, it's better to set up a bunch of pot hangers and have a long log fire going. But for the most part, when I'm teaching a small group of students, 5 to 10 people, and we only need 2 or 3 pots at most, we could have one over here rising bread or raising bread. On top of here, we could be boiling away, and on the other side, we'd be simmering our food, such as pastas and rice. So this can give us a good meal for a small group of people. But plus 10, yeah, you need a bigger fire. But this is also a good way to get a very hot fire going stable and get a lot of coals. This is not too different from the kind of fire I would make to make a hot rock fire for hot rock cooking. Excuse me. Instead of just simply having platforms of sticks up the center, I would have the platforms of sticks piled on top of platform of rocks, and then all the wood built up around it. That way, that center heat is going constantly around like a furnace or a kiln around those rocks, heating them up very fast and getting them very, very hot. Meaning I can hot rock boil, I can hot rock cook a bird by simply taking one of those cleaned rocks and stuffing it inside the bird and wrapping with grasses and other plants to help slow cook it. I can use those hot rocks by pulling them out and slapping pieces of meat onto it to actually sear them right there on the rock. A lot of different ways I can use a long log fire to benefit my hot rock cooking methods. Another benefit of this is in the form of making charcoal. I would continue to stack more wood on top and then start leaning sticks against it and wood against it in the form of almost like a yurt shape rather than a teepee shape. And as that burns nice and hot, I start to mound dirt on top of it, and that will hold the dirt without letting it suffocate quickly. We want to let the fire burn for a while until it's used up all this lignin and other cellulose and celluloid fibers of the plant, leaving just the carbon behind, and then simply smother it by letting it burn out with all the wood, the dirt on top. This doesn't let it collapse in as quickly as if I try to do the same thing with a teepee fire or a lean-to fire, or even a long log fire. This is much more effective for making charcoal when out in the field. So in general, the log cabin fire is very beneficial when we're dealing with cooking in many forms, and in general, other little camp crafts. It's not very good at being a warming, drying fire. As you can see, this is pretty much as high as these flames are ever going to get. This fire is as hot as it's going to get right now. Unless I put on a lot more wood and start fanning that fire, it's not going to get any hotter. So it's not a perfect fire if I fell through the ice and I need to now get dried off. This is not the fire to do that with. If I'm going to be staying out for the night, in -20, this is not the fire to do that with. There are better fires for those options, and we're going to be talking about those in future videos.